Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another Europa Universalis 4 preview where I continue my Tour du Monde. And again, we are going to continue to play as England in Europe, but we're going to try to look at other nations to get a sense of the sort of, I don't know, challenges that they might face at the start of the game, especially in the 1444 era, but we might try some different years. And again, I'm going to continue going west because we're going to ignore Europe for now. So we did the Native Americans in the last video. So this brings us to the very far east, where we can take a look at, say, Japan. So Japan's kind of interesting. It's made up of a variety of, well, so we've got Japan itself, which is two little provinces of Kyoto and Mino, and this is called Japan. This is the shogunate. And then it's got these smaller independent, well, I guess the daimyo, or is the ruler the daimyo? Daimyo, whatever. These things, other little provinces, and each one of these is subservient to, I guess, the emperor, the shogun in Japan itself. So it's kind of an interesting game experience. I don't know how viable, how easy it is playing as one of the smaller nations. I did do a test game where I played as Mutsu, and that was hard. I mean, one province when you're already subservient, it's kind of hard. And it seems like playing as Japan itself might be, it'll still be kind of challenging because you have a lot of independence. Yes, they swear fealty to you, but if you do the wrong thing, they will come and try to break up your dominance. So we'll come take a look, and mostly with Japan, what we're curious about, it talks about vassals, how interesting. So if we go to war, they will automatically join in, which is quite handy. We'll change to the patchwork quilt view here. We got some missions we can look at right off the bat. Create an army for the nation. Yes, that's very interesting. Right now we have 4 units, and we're going to have a much higher force limit than everyone. And that's because the provinces in our vassals add to our possible force limit, is I believe the way that it works. Because we only really have 2 provinces, but we can have a force limit of 19, which is huge, absolutely gargantuan. So it means we will always have the potential of having a larger enemy, or a larger army than any one of our vassals. But all of our vassals put together can almost certainly kick our butt. So it actually turns into a really interesting diplomatic game. Now, that particular mission here, it wants us to get up to 75% of our force limit, and I don't know if that's actually practical. I'm not sure that we can maintain that, because we don't, I mean, we make some money, but we'll very quickly start to spend it if we build up an army that big. What else we've got? We can incorporate Hatakeyama into our country, and it actually recommends that it's like, oh, diplomatic annexation would be our best option. So it's like, oh, well, that sounds pretty good. And establish a foothold in Manchuria. Very interesting. So if we own at least 1 province, then that would complete that quest. So I would probably start with something domestic, like this one here. Now, there are some interesting national decisions. Of course, these blue ones are the sort of normal national decisions that most countries have access to. Some countries will have a bunch here. I think different texts and different events or criteria will start to add them to the list. I'm not 100% sure. But the Militia Act will require a certain idea. And the formalized scales, weights, and measures is actually really common. You need the tech level of 5, which is really all you need to be able to trigger that normally. Then you get 5% more tax, which is really good. But the ones in green are your special, unique, and very important decisions you can take. And what's interesting is that there's 2 of them that sound pretty damn similar. There's Japan is United, which has the text of the warring factions of Japan have finally been united under a strong emperor. And Unite Japan. The time has come to unite Japan by force. The time for diplomacy is over, and all these warring daimyo lords must be conquered. So, Japan is united happens if any country does not have a daimyo. So, I mean, that could certainly happen if we literally owned everything, because right now they've got it if they're independent. There's probably more to it than that. And the other one is if the number of cities is at least 15. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure exactly what these mean, but it's interesting that it sort of encourages 2 routes. So, I mean, all in all, you're mostly going to use a combination of diplomacy and warring to take over these guys. But the war is you've got to be careful. This is the same thing that can happen if you're playing as someone like Austria in HRE, right? It's actually quite easy to take over 1 province. But the problem is it gives you that over-aggression penalty that will crush your relationship with all of your other vassals. Which are not terribly high to start off with, and it can be just incredibly, incredibly difficult to not have them all declare war on you, for example. Where is fine. Hata. Oh, it's here. Okay, the province name is Echu, but the nation or the demo is Hata. Listen, guys, I'm bad at that names. So really, what we want to do here is we want to get to. We want to be able to annex the vassal. So to annex a vassal, we need a high reputation, 190, or a high opinion, 190. You can also, they need to be in your vassal for 10 years. And they start you off at the start of the game with like no development on that. So it will be November 11th, 1454 before we can actually annex them. And apparently there's possible peace resolutions as well. But more than anything, we're kind of going to have to rule what we've kind of got for 10 years and then try to, develop more of that. We could set up a bunch of royal marriages early on, which is going to help, just generally keep our opinions high. We can build up a bunch of those, start sucking up. But there's probably some little war events that are going to happen here or there. And that's what you're going to spend your time mostly managing, playing as Japan. And, it can be a very, very interesting game. And of course, there's lots of possibilities for conquest here. Like, you might not be happy that you're probably actually discouraged from literally going to war, especially early on with these guys, because the over-aggression penalty is just going to be brutal. But I don't think they're going to mind as much if you go after Korea or Manchuria over here. They're going to be totally okay with that. So build some ships and go overseas and kick their butts. There is the same problem or a similar problem that you're going to have with the Native American tribes, in that your tech group sucks. Here it's only 160% more than normal, or of normal, so it's 60% more than normal. But you do get the -1 monthly power to each one of your stats still, which kind of sucks a little bit. So, I think that's the big... you do get to start off with some actual merchants, though, which is nice. You actually represent, like, mostly the start of the trade route, although apparently there's some other trade node over here, which is kind of interesting. I don't know, does that come from the Americas? Curious. But yeah, so there's still the possibility of manipulating trade. The big problem is that, well, I don't know if it's a problem, but like where the actual trade nodes are. So this is the Nippon trade route, or trade zone, which also covers, no, I'm lying. No, this is Beijing. Okay, the colors were similar, so actually you start off with pretty good monopoly over here. Yeah, you retain almost all of it, which is great. You can't really drive more trade to this node, which is really the downside. So if you want any more trade income, you're going to have to put someone over here and try to collect from there, and it's a little bit more awkward, but it's certainly doable. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to hop out of here and actually hop right into China in the same video. So you do get this sort of end screen. It gives you the history. There's certainly not much to talk about it here, because in fact it even goes into the past, which is interesting. Oh, when I quit out of the game as the Aztecs, I actually had like the 5th largest army in the world at the time, which is kind of cool. I really thought that was quite entertaining. So let's go and check out something else. Oops, I guess it would have been shorter to go the other way. Just used to thinking, let's go and take a look at Ming. Ming, the Celestial Empire, an independent nation. So they're quite large. And I think with this nation, one of the big challenges is simply going to be like managing the grotesque amount of space you've got here. Now, each one of these provinces is not, well, I was going to say it's not particularly wealthy, but apparently no, they have huge tax base. Holy cow! And you start with a lot of money. How much money are these guys making? 27 gold per month as a balance. What's their force limit? 37. This is insanely good. Convert to some religions. Or Confucian. Stability cost. No, even that's not that expensive. Alright, so what kind of special events do we have here? There's Construct a Forbidden City. Glorious National Monument, increasing our prestige and promoting stability. So to do it, we need a statesman of level 3. So that's here, I believe. I might be wrong. Yeah, statesman advisor of at least level 3. So a specific type of advisor. And the bureaucrat faction is ruling, so we can talk about factions. And 3 stability and power. It's just not entirely hard. As long as we got a level 3 guy and we had 3 stability, we could pull this off, and it cost a lot of money. but until the end of the game, we would get a 10% stability cost modifier, like cheaper stability, and free prestige, which is certainly nice. Other than that, there's some religious things that we can choose. In fact, we can choose it as soon as our stability goes up a tiny bit. Interesting. Where do we actually see the religious stuff? Or the faction stuff? Is there not an interface for it? Because I know that's a mechanic. There are 3 factions in the game when you're playing as the Chinese states. And indeed, I do not see it listed anywhere. There's got to be a display, and I'm just not cluing into where it was or where it is, and I really apologize for that. But yeah, there are 3 factions, and you're getting decisions that are going to modify your standing with different factions. If I remember correctly, I may be misremembering. I haven't actually played as the Chinese states. I guess we could get started on that. Let's pick an appropriate quest. Improve relations with Korea? Sure. That'll be pretty easy. Let's get started with that. Let's go to Korea. We're going to send a diplomat over there. Improve relations. It's a really easy one to do. We've got a huge navy. Wow. First fleet, which is all galleys. And then light ships, so we can protect our trade, where we are trying to actually influence things. We'll do the Beijing one, let's say. So that's pretty good. Our military, we could probably group up. We have no risk of actual rebellions, so we mostly want to pick a war target. We should go after Tibet. I don't suppose we've got a CB. Actually, we could find out. If we go view our country, we can find out if we've got any casus belli with anything. And we don't. So we can set some rivals. Where do I see neighbors? That's what I want. So we're going to set Tibet. And, oh, the Mongols, huh? And more hordes and things. Let's go with, like, Vietnam and stuff. There. Oops. There. Set some rivals up. And we've got tons of money. Oh, we do need advisors, though. So let's fill in some of these slots and then play for a little bit and see what's what. Cheaper stability is good because we're going to want stability. So we may as well get it to be a little bit cheaper. We're just going to go for these. We've got a lot of money, but we're going to spend a lot of it on military. So that's okay. More manpower modifier is good because it also means that it will rebound faster. And yeah, let's build some cav. Because I love the cavalry. Very potent, usually at this stage in the game. Oh, I didn't check to see what our national bonuses are. There you go. We're just going to have huge, like, whatever. It works with cons, right? So it's going to work for us. Just horse archers all day long. Okay, so we're out of money. But that's all right. And actually, I could take down our army maintenance by a bit. So taking a look at our ideas, we get 10% more trade power, reduced idea cost, and we can get huge, like, relationship over time, which is nice. You know what, we're going to send... you guys go together. You guys go together over here, and then let's just speed up time a bunch. I was hoping for some more events about the factions because I really want to see exactly what that looks like. I'm probably misremembering. Oh. There we go. See, factions. This is what I'm saying. Feng Shui is a system of both aesthetics and magic, believed by many to control the flow of the primary energy, the Qi, by relying on the laws of heaven and earth which guide it. The system is applied to tombs, homes, and buildings to ensure that the energy that courses through them is optimal. One of the court's most respected diviners and interpreters of the ebb and flow of the Qi has recently discovered that the newly built Imperial Tea House reeks with negative Qi. Who's responsible for this? The diviner himself. He's clearly mad. Lose legitimacy, prestige, and -4 to the temple faction. The builder, he did not consult the diviners, would cost a lot of money, and the bureaucrats would lose... Oh, there's the factions right down there. And whoever put up the building lose 1 stability, and the eunuchs would lose 4. Wow, losing stability at this point would hurt a lot, but so would losing all the ducats. I guess the legitimacy and the prestige would be the least painful, barring the fact that the factions we don't really know about. So, stock factions. So we've got the eunuchs, the imperial household administrators who vied to get the ear of the emperor. The eunuchs are not interested in future generations, for obvious reasons, and are instead focused on the now. They're interested in trade, exploration, and colonization. Our faction influence is not very high. They would give us a navy tradition bonus. And right now our influence is increasing, which is good. Then we've got the temple faction, representing the various Taoist orders. The temples are especially interested in persecuting Buddhists. Since Buddhists are not a renewable resource, the temple faction facilitates war to acquire more Buddhists. Wait, what? They like persecuting Buddhists, and then they want to acquire more Buddhists. I don't understand. Our relations is going down right now. We could spend military power to increase our influence, or diplomatic power, or administrative power. So the bureaucrats, representing the Confucian bureaucracy, the bureaucracy are really quite interested in perpetuating themselves. I wonder, is that supposed to be perpetuating? I'm really confused. Anyway, the bureaucrats will support building new structures and earning money. So right now we have a great relationship. And come on, what do you give me? I don't understand. Army tradition, Navy tradition, and no information as to what this does. I don't want to know about papacy. There may simply be a missing tooltip. Our influence is doing great, though. Alright, good enough. I'll have to go and look at the dev diary for how these factions work, because this has been explained. I'm happy I wasn't crazy and just completely misremembering the fact that, like, this existed. I'm like, no, factions are a thing, damn it. I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely convinced. Alright. Merge up. Merge. I guess we'll pause. Merge. Do that. Oh, you're still doing that, and you're still moving. You know what? We need more troops over here by the Mongols. And, boost our stability. Inward perfection. A 50% increase to our cost? But the bureaucrat factions decrease it by 50%. Nice. Alright. Stability is good. National decision. Wait, oh. We can promote or denounce Neo-Confucianism. Right, which will... more stability cost, more tolerance, less revolt, or more revolt, more missionary strength, more legitimacy. Let's go missionary strength and actually have a look at the religion. Well, everything... oh, no, it's not all. We actually should send... it's not part of our land? No, it's not. Okay, never mind. So... oh, right over here. We have Buddhists. Buddhists! Let's convert them. We only have the one missionary. So, good enough. I suppose we've got an extra diplomat. Let's go ahead and manufacture a claim down here. Covert actions, fabricate claim on... how come I can't do this one? Do I already have a claim on it? No, because I didn't have a casus belli. Maybe I misread. Oh well, doesn't matter. Boom, boom, boom. Combine. Boom, boom, boom. Combine. You know what? I think playing as the Ming would be fantastic. I'm already intrigued by this nation. It's huge. It's got a lot of options, a lot of neighbors, a lot of potential for diplomacy, a lot of potential for conquest. I think this is fascinating. I love the faction mechanic too. I mean, and really over here, you don't have to, I don't think, to the same extent, worry about European conquest. But at the same time, you're not going to be dealing with Europeans, so it's really an entirely separate microcosm of diplomacy and warfare and religion, and this would be a blast. Huh. Very cool. Still waiting for things to improve there. It's possible that they would be okay with some other actions like a royal marriage at this point. They would be. So we could cancel the improved relations. Wait till he comes home, propose the royal marriage, then send him back to improve There we are. Just like that. Yay! What about an alliance? They would take that too. And of course, we are going to enforce, or we're going to proclaim a guarantee over there. We can make money or prestige. Let's go for prestige because we don't actually have a lot of it. Proclaim a guarantee, which is going to give us a casus belli automatically if anyone attacks them. Of course, we've already got one from the alliance, so it's a little bit redundant. Oh, and we completed our mission as well, because our relationship is quite good. So we got a new quest. We spread our culture. The enemy of our enemy is Shan, so they should be our friend. Claim our rival's province. Forge a claim on Xuanhang. God damn it, I'm so bad at these names. Yeah, let's do that. And then we can send a diplomat over and do that. There we go. Anyway, I think that's actually enough of a glance at this. I think there's a definite feeling going on over here. This is a definite possibility for a Let's Play in the future. I don't think we'll have enough time before release, and but maybe post-release, play as the Ming? It would be very interesting since I haven't really done that. I haven't played much in the way of Asian nations at all in any of the Paradox games, actually, so I don't know. I think that would be quite cool. If you've got any more questions, let me know. I can always go back into the game and check a few things to answer. Temple faction diplomacy. Officials from the Temple faction have been very active in the foreign diplomacy of the Ming court lately. One foreign power in particular occupies the faction's attention, and the faction feels that this foreign power should submit to the authority of the Middle Kingdom. The foreign ambassador has been summoned to the Imperial Palace. What should we tell him? That he may go in peace. So someone will like us, and the faction temple will gain -5. I assume these are negatives. We can pop it up. Yeah, or he prepares his best defense. Ming would gain a diplomatic insult CB on Lang Zhang. I think maybe Zhang. I'd have to look up how the X's are supposed to be pronounced. 20 military power, and the Temple faction likes us, so that would be kind of fun, right? Boom. Oh, right over here. Well, listen, we're already working on war with them, so chillax. All right. Yeah, so there we go. That is the look at the Far East. See you in the next video, folks. Bye-bye.